The inheritance letter fade in. Int. My apartment night, it was a Thursday. Cold, raining. One of those nights where the sky growls like it's warning you of something. I was sitting at my desk, half asleep, sipping on a cup of instant coffee that tasted like burnt regret, when I heard the mail slot creak. THWAP. Just one envelope, thick, old-school parchment, yellowed like it had been sitting in a drawer for decades. My name was written in ink, actual ink, in perfect cursive. I should have thrown it away, honest, but I didn't. I tore it open, and inside was a letter sealed with dark red wax. Stamped with a crest, a coiled serpent wrapped around a tower. It read, "To the last living descendant of the Black Hollow bloodline, you are hereby summoned to claim your rightful inheritance. The estate of Black Hollow Manor. Located in Raven's Edge, Westmore, the manor has stood vacant since the disappearance of your great-uncle, Elias Thorne, 31 years ago. As his sole heir, you are entitled to the property and all that resides within it. You must arrive by the 13th day of this month. Upon entry, the house becomes yours. But heed this warning. Stay no longer than necessary, and do not look in the cellar mirror after midnight. E. Wren, solicitor for the estate." I stared at the letter for a long time. I'd never heard of a great-uncle. My family tree was practically a stump. Just me, raised in foster care, with only a box of questions and a last name I never liked. But something about the letter. It didn't feel like a scam. It felt personal. I turned it over. Attached was a photograph, an old one, sepia-toned. It showed a large Gothic manor, wrapped in fog like a secret it didn't want to share. Standing in front of it was a man, pale, thin, tall, eyes dark as a cave mouth. The back of the photo read, "Elias Thorne, 1983. I wish I'd burned that photo right then, but curiosity. It's a curse you don't feel until it's too late. Into bedroom. Later that night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the manor, felt it. I looked up Raven's Edge, small town. We're almost forgotten. Barely a dot on the map. No hotels, no visitors, just the manor. I checked the calendar. It was the 8th. I had 5 days. Something told me I was going. Int, train station, day travel montage. I packed light, one duffel bag, no expectations. The train ride to Westmore was long, quiet, too quiet. The few people I passed in town avoided eye contact when I asked about Black Hollow. One old man spat on the ground and muttered, "Best you let the dead keep their secrets." I should have listened. Ixed. Raven's Edge Day, the car I rented wheezed its way up a winding dirt road, flanked by trees that seemed to lean in just a little too close. Nature here didn't feel natural. It felt watchful. Then, like it had been waiting for me, the manor appeared. Black Hollow, tall, ancient. The windows like eyes that had seen too much. Ivy clung to its stone-like veins, crawling toward the sky. I stopped the car and just stared. Something inside me stirred. Like recognition. Like I'd been here before in a dream I'd forgotten. Or tried to. I stepped out. The air smelled like damp wood and something metallic. The gate creaked as I pushed it open. At the front door, a key was waiting under the mat. Old iron, cold to the touch. I slipped it into the lock. Click. The door groaned open, and the house breathed in, into Black Hollow Manor foyer. Day dust choked the air. Faint light spilled in through stained glass, painting the floor with blood-colored shadows. The silence wasn't empty. It was full. Like something unseen was holding its breath. I crossed the threshold. And just like the letter said, I felt it. The manor was now mine. Welcome to Black Hollow Manor Int. Black Hollow Manor Foyer Day. The air inside was heavy. Like every breath I took, cost something. I closed the door behind me, and the sound echoed through the house, long and hollow, like it didn't want to die out. I stood still, letting my eyes adjust. Dust floated in shafts of light that pierced through the stained glass windows. The color on the walls was faded, peeling in places. Old paintings stared down at me. People I didn't recognize, but something in their eyes made my skin crawl. It wasn't just paint. It felt like presence. My footsteps creaked on the warped wooden floor as I moved deeper in. Int. Living room day, the living room was massive. A fireplace framed with black stone sat cold and unused. There was an armchair turned slightly toward the window, as if someone had just left it. A thick layer of dust covered everything. Books, candlesticks, even the old chessboard on the table. Except one thing. Clean. Empty. Sitting neatly on a side table. Still warm. I didn't touch it. Int. Kitchen day. I found the kitchen next. The air here was colder. Somehow, the kind of cold that sinks into your bones. A single light bulb dangled from the ceiling, flickering occasionally like it was fighting something I couldn't see. Everything here looked like it had been abandoned in a hurry. Dishes left in the sink, a kettle on the stove, cabinet doors slightly open, like someone had been rummaging through them. I opened the fridge more out of habit than anything. It was empty, but there was a smell. Something sour. Like mold, but not quite. Something worse. That's when I heard it tap. 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 Slow. Deliberate. From upstairs I froze. It stopped. Silence again. Then creak. A floorboard. Directly above me. I backed out of the kitchen, never taking my eyes off the ceiling. Staircase. Moments later, I don't know what compelled me to go up. Maybe it was the house pulling me. Maybe it was just me being an idiot. The staircase was grand, the kind you see in haunted house movies, where you just know the spirit is standing at the top, waiting. There was no spirit, just shadows and the cold. Halfway up, the air changed, thicker, heavier. I felt it pressing against my skin like static. I reached the landing. 4 doors. One slightly open. It's the one I went to. Int. Bedroom. 2nd floor. Day, it was a bedroom. Must have been Elias Thorne's. Everything was neat. Is too neat. The bed made. No dust on the desk. A journal placed carefully next to an old oil lamp. I picked it up. The leather cover was cracked with age, and when I opened it, the smell of dried ink and time hit me hard. Most of the pages were blank, except the first one. It read, "I hear them at night. They know I see them now." Just that. Nothing else. I put it down. Backed away. My heart was pounding harder now. Felt like something was watching me from the corner. But when I looked, there was nothing there. Int. Hallway, 2nd floor. Moments later, I walked past the other rooms quickly. Didn't open them. Couldn't. But when I passed the last one, the door handle moved. Just a twitch, like someone inside changed their mind about opening it. I walked faster. Back to the stairs, down, fast. Int. Foyer. Late afternoon, back in the foyer, I leaned against the wall, trying to slow my breathing. That's when I noticed something new. A photo. It hadn't been there before. Framed, sitting on the entry table. I picked it up, hands trembling slightly. It was me, standing at the manor's front gate. Same clothes, same bag. Same moment I'd arrived, but I never saw anyone take it. I definitely never posed. I dropped the photo, backed away. The house creaked again, deeper this time, like it was waking up, and that's when I realized it had never been empty. Whispers behind the walls in Black Hollow Manor foyer night. It started with the cold, not just the kind that bites your skin. This settled beneath it, a crawling, sentient cold. I sat in the living room, darkness swallowing the manor. Sun had long vanished. Only a single candle lit the room. Electricity here flickered like the house was breathing. The silence wasn't peaceful. It was deliberate. Like something was waiting for me to speak first. I didn't, but something else did. Int. Living room night whispers. At first, just a suggestion, then clearer. A woman's voice, soft and razor thin. Voice whispering, "He sees you." I stood, nearly dropping the candle. My voice cracked. "Hello?" No answer then. A creak upstairs. Footsteps, slow, pacing. I looked up. The ceiling groaned like it was breathing too. I grabbed my phone. No signal. Useless. And then, a new sound. Int. Dining room night drawn to the whispers. I found myself in the dining room. The air felt thicker, yet the sound clearer. I pressed my ear to the wall near the fireplace. Voice whispering, Don't trust the mirror. Don't trust the mirror. Then, knock, 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 followed by slow, deliberate scratching. Something alive. Right there, I stumbled back. Then silence, until the piano played. Int. Parlor. Moments later, dust covered the piano, except for 3 keys. Clean. Played recently. The size of the fingerprints, child-sized. But I was alone. Or so I thought. In the mirror above the piano, I saw it. Shape behind me. Tall. Still, I spun around. Nothing. Back to the mirror. Just me. But my reflection was slow, off, and smiling. I wasn't in. Study. Later that night, I locked myself in the study, desperate for answers. Found old journals. A woman's. Handwriting erratic. Terrified. The house listens. It mimics your voice. Don't talk to the child. She isn't a child. There's something behind the walls. If the cellar door opens by itself, run. One line stood out. August 13. Today then. My phone buzzed. The screen lit up. New photo saved to gallery. I hadn't taken one. I opened it. It was me. Sleeping in the study. Only. I hadn't slept. Int. Study continuous, a thud behind the bookshelf. Then whispers again. Muffled crying. A girl's voice childlike. It sounded wrong. Too calm, too rehearsed. Like a recording played too many times. Then scratching. Closer. Coming through the wall, I grabbed the candlestick, backed away. The crying stopped. Ah! Then, just inches from the wood, voice whispering, "You're already inside too." The mirror in the cellar int. Black Hollow Manor study. Night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard that voice again. "You're already inside too." Then, around 3:12 a.m., I heard it. A metallic creak, door, opening somewhere in the house, followed by a soft thud. I knew, somehow, where it came from. Cellar. Int. Black Hollow Manor basement stairs. Night. The cellar door was behind the kitchen. I hadn't noticed it before, like it had revealed itself only when it was ready. The air that spilled out was icy, stale, and heavy with mold. I lit a candle and started down the wooden steps, each one moaning under my feet. Halfway down, the cellar door slammed shut behind me. I didn't look back. Int. Cellar night, the room stretched farther than I expected. Dirt floor, stone walls, shelves lined with crumbling jars and forgotten tools. And at the far end, a mirror, tall, ornate, standing perfectly clean in the dust and decay. Its frame was carved with twisted serpents, staring eyes, and reaching hands. But the reflection, it didn't show the cellar. It showed a hallway, one I'd never seen, lined with doors. Int. Cellar. Continuous. I stepped closer. In the mirror, one door opened slowly. From the dark inside, a figure glided out. It was me. Same face. Same clothes. But wrong. Its skin was pale. Eyes black pits. Smile too wide. Then, it looked directly at me and raised its hand. My arm lifted in sync. Against my will, I fought it. Pulled away. Reflection flickered like water. Then, normal. Just me again, except it blinked before I did. Int. Cellar. Moments later, I backed away, heart racing. Then, a giggle, soft, childlike. I turned. No one. In the mirror now stood a little girl in a white dress. Eyes dark, mouth curling into something unnatural. Girl whispering, "He said you'd come." Then darkness. My candle went out. Int. Cellar. Total darkness. I couldn't see. I couldn't move. Then, barefoot footsteps. Light, but purposeful. Coming closer. A whisper in my ear. "GIRL. He's behind your eyes now." I fumbled for my lighter, struck it alive. I was alone. The mirror was gone, just the frame remained, its glass missing. Int. Basement stairs. Moments later, I ran up the stairs. The door opened by itself, welcoming me back. Int. Kitchen. Continuous on the counter sat a photo. I hadn't put it there. I picked it up. It was me standing in front of the cellar door. But behind me, a shadow. Tall, smiling, holding a mirror shard. The truth buried beneath Int. Black Hollow Manor kitchen, early morning. I hadn't slept. The photos still sat on the counter. Me in front of the cellar door, with that thing behind me. Watching, smiling, like it already knew how this would end. I stared at it, hoping it would blink. Move, explain itself. It didn't. Int. Study morning. I returned to the study, hoping I'd missed something. I had. A thin, leather-bound book wedged behind the bookshelf. Older than the others, covered in dust. No title. Inside, a family tree. At the bottom, my name. Fresh ink. I turned the pages with shaking fingers. The bloodline is cursed. Every generation one must remain. The house doesn't feed on flesh, it feeds on identity. If no heir stays, it chooses one. Final line, Elias tried to run. The mirror took his face, but not his soul. Int. Upstairs hallway, late morning, the old door upstairs was now wide open. Inside, just dust, cobwebs, and an antique wardrobe. I opened it. At the bottom, a mirror shard, symbols etched in its frame. Lifted it. But instead of my reflection, I saw the hallway from the cellar mirror. One of the doors inside was now open. A figure paced behind it. It was Elias. Flickering, broken, like a corrupted video. Then he looked at me, directly at me, lost, whispering, "Bury it, bury the mirror." The shard grew hot, dropped it with a gasp, but it didn't hit the floor. It vanished. Int. Cellar midday, I grabbed a shovel from the shed and returned to the cellar. The ground where the mirror once stood was softer, like the house wanted me to dig. I did. The dirt gave way easily. Soon, I hit something solid. Wood. A box. Old, iron-latched, pulsing with cold. Inside, mirror shards. Dozens of them. Each one showed something different. Different rooms. Different mez. One was screaming. One was blank. One laughed with blood smeared across its mouth. Etched on the lid. "This is where the truth lives, where you will stay." Int. Cellar. Continuous. A voice from the stairs behind me. "Girl," softly. "He buried Elias too." I turned. The girl. White dress. Black eyes. Water dripping from her hands. Me shouting, "What are you?" She smiled. That too wide smile. "Girl, you'll see, when you're part of the house." Then she vanished, like smoke sucked into a vacuum. Int. Foya. Later I stumbled back upstairs. The house felt heavier. The walls seemed closer. The air, alive, like it remembered me now. I understood what Elias meant. The mirror wasn't just a doorway, it was a trap. And the only way to survive was to finish what he started. Bury the mirror and bury the truth, for the house buried me. I should have burned the letter Int. Black Hollow Manor foyer night. It was past midnight again. The house had gone silent, but not in a peaceful way. The kind of silence that watches. I clutched the letter that started all of this. It's the one that brought me here. Elias's letter. "You deserve the truth. Should have burned it. Int. Black Hollow Manor fireplace night." I tossed the letter into the cold fireplace, lit a match, but the flame wouldn't catch. The paper wouldn't burn. It curled, darkened, but didn't ignite. Then, from behind me, a voice. Elias, whispering. "It never lets the truth go." I spun around. He was standing at the top of the stairs. Half his face was gone, warped, hollow, like the mirror had eaten part of him. Me terrified. "Why me, Elias?" "Because you stayed." Int. Black Hollow Manor hallway. Moments later, I ran. Doors slammed shut as I passed. The house was alive now, awake. The girl's voice echoed. "Girl, sing song. You should have burned the letter. You should have burned the mirror. At the end of the hall, the mirror hole again, waiting for me. I turned to run, but behind me, every version of me from the shards, pale, bloodied, silent, watching, int. Mirror, ROOM, continuous. The mirror pulsed, like a heartbeat. I looked into it and saw myself, but not me, something else. Smiling, it reached through the glass. I tried to run, but my feet were stuck to the floor. The house held me. Ilsvo, it doesn't want you dead, it wants you hollow. The figure in the mirror gripped my arm. I screamed. Everything went black. Int. Unknown space. Darkness when I opened my eyes. I was in a hallway, not the house. The one from the mirror. Hundreds of doors, each labeled with a name. One of them, mine. From behind it, I heard my voice, crying, begging, screaming. I backed away. But the mirror figure stood behind me, held out the letter. Fresh, untouched. Voice whispering, start again, get out. On screen, dimly lit room, flickering candle. You or narrator speak directly to the camera. Narrator calm, eerie tone. If you're still here, congratulations. You made it through. Black Hollow Manor. But remember, some houses don't just haunt you, they keep you. If you enjoyed this journey into the dark, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more horror stories just like this one. Got a theory about the mirror? Think Elias ever escaped? Let me know in the comments. And if you dare, ring the bell icon. Because the next time a letter shows up in your mailbox, you might want to burn it.